Jungkook enters the living room as he was looking for a particular person, but he didn't find her. Oh, so you came. Jimin turns off the TV. Yeah, it wasn't that important, he said as he peeked here and there, and then you enters the living room and his eyes lightened up, and Jimin noticed it. Ryan, he said as he moved towards you, and Jimin watched Jungkook blankly. You hummed in response as you asked, and he came forward with envelope in his hand as he lifted it toward your direction. Take it, he said, and you frowned as you looked at envelope then him. What is this? You slowly take it from his hand as you started opening it, and Jimin looks at it carefully while it reveals flight tickets. It's your flight tickets to Japan. You looked at him surprised, and Jimin's eyes widened. And it's for tomorrow, he exclaimed, looking into his eyes. You're leaving us, Ryan? This is so early. Why are you leaving us so early? You stare deep into his eyes, looking for an answer. I think I have lived enough here and bothered you guys, and now it's better if I leave, you said bitterly, staring at Jungkook, who was looking into your eyes. No, Ryan, you aren't bothering us. I was enjoying your company. You looked at Jimin as you smiled painfully. Yeah, but I have to leave someday, and that day is tomorrow, you said with sullen face. I will tell Hana to pack your luggage, so don't worry, he said, and left without even glancing back, and you looked at his disappearing figure, and you smiled painfully. You entered the dining area as everyone was eating their breakfast, but your eyes was looking for a particular person, but you couldn't find him, as he took a seat beside Jimin. Good morning, Ryan. He smiled as he serves you food. Good morning, Ryan. He greeted you, while you greeted both of them back. Good morning. You started to have your food while you were looking in another direction to find someone. How are you now? He asked, and you looked at him. I'm good, he replied while still looking in other direction, and Jimin noticed this time. Are you looking for Jungkook? He said while you shook your head in denial. Anya, I was just looking. You smiled awkwardly while eating your food. Oh, I thought you were looking for him. He smiled. By the way, where is he? You amused while fidgeting with the food. He went on secret mission. You frowned hearing them. On mission? You asked, being confused. Yeah, on mission, as he's mafia and doesn't neglect his work, he said while eating food. But this early in the morning, you frowned. Yeah, he said he has some urgent work. You still amused at it why he left so early. You continued eating your food, and while Jimin and Taeyang ate theirs. I wish Ryan you could stay with us forever, but you are leaving us today. You stopped eating food as you looked at him. I wish that too, but I think things not always go as we thought it to be. He looked down at the food. He thought he will kill him that easily and we won't do anything. The man whom he killed was just a pawn in a game. A man in his late 20s spoke while puffing the smoke out of his mouth. But boss, you know, if he got to know what could happen and what he could do to you. He spoke and man looked at him with fury. You think me is weak? He twists the man's fingers and he growls in pain. No, boss, I was just saying. He stuttered in pain while he left his hand. Today he will got to know the truth. Just wait and watch, he smirks as he played with lighter. You turned off the TV as you got and something was bothering you. You were not feeling good as you checked the time. This might be important mission, I guess. That's why it took him so long. You mused as you roamed, but then Jimin enters the room while eating an apple. Hey Ryan, what you doing? He asked as he sat on the couch. Nothing. I was checking time as I have to leave in 2 hours. He said as he sat next to him. Let's play chess then, a last game before you go. He said while crying fake, but you denied. I don't know how to play chess, you said, and Jimin chuckled. It's so easy, I will teach you, he said, but you and Jimin's attention diverted as Taeyang entered with a worried face. Jimin. He barely can speak as he breathed heavily and worry was clearly visible on his face. What happened, Tay? He asked worriedly as you both got up from your seats. Jungkook. He can't able to speak as yours and Jimin's anxiety peaked. Say clearly. You both said in unison. Jungkook got shocked. He spoke while your eyes widened in fear. Where, how, and when? He asked worriedly, and you processed for a while. I can't explain right now. Let's go. We can't waste time. He's not conscious. They both started leaving without a second, and you followed them. You all reached the dark room where Jungkook is, and you all got out quickly without wasting even a second. Where is Jungkook, and why you didn't even took him to hospital? He shouted at the man standing at the door frame. So we can't able to, as the men are all over in here, and we brought him with great difficulty. Just take him to hospital, I don't care. We will handle them. He shouted at them. So we can't take him to hospital. He needs to get treated now. He got shot in heart and he's bleeding profusely. He doesn't have enough time. Taehyung stumbled a bit and Jimin held him while your mind went blank. So bring doctors here. He shouted at them while he went inside without even wasting a second. We called them, but it will take up to an hour to reach them, he said lowly, while Taehyung moved him away harshly from the door frame as he went inside. You guys are just lawyers, he spat in anger. You entered the room as he saw a familiar man lying on the bed unconsciously. As he moved towards him, he saw him and noticed all the machines that were beeping around him. As he noticed his vitals, his heart rate was going down as your eyes widened in shock. You quickly removed his shirt while you examined his wound, and you tried to control the bleeding by controlling the external pressure as he covered his wound with gauze while you again looked at his heart rate. It is still going down. At this point, you don't know what to do. Seeing him bleeding and going near death made you more terrified as your hands started to shake. Jimin and Taehyung entered as they looked at you surprised at you treating him. Ryan, what are you doing? He asked firmly, while you didn't reply. Give him oxygen fast. He shouted at the man who standing near Jungkook's bed. Jimin was about to walk near you, but Taehyung stopped him while watching you. Nurse there gave Jungkook oxygen mask while he checked his vital, but still there is no change, and you started to panic. His tears were streaming down to your eyes. What should I do? You clutched your hair tightly as you don't know what to do next. You gathered yourself as you went near him and took a deep breath, and you examined his wound again as you saw his chest a bit blue. You pressed it to check, and you took a breath of relief as you figured out what is happening to him. Give me scalpel fast, you asked, and nurse there passed you the scalpel as you began to tear the skin near chest area, and you slowly made the space between as you inserted a tube to release the pressure. And when the pressure released, he checked his vitals again, and it is stabilized now. He sat on the floor as he cried, holding his hand. Jimmy, we should take him to the hospital fast. We can't wait him further here, he said while sobbing. Jimin and Taehyung quickly guided the guards to take Jungkook's stretcher in the van as they all moved out of the room. He followed them with teary eyes while sobbing. The patient condition is very critical and he could even die if the first aid wasn't given to him. The one who did pneumothorax did well. It stabilized him and stopped his bleeding. Doctor said while Jimin and Taehyung looked at you. Doctor, will he be okay? Doctor looked at them, a little conflicted. We can say right now, as he got shot in the heart, it ruptured his lower area and chest. You quietly listened what doctor said, and Jim and Taehyung were witness in faces. Doctor, the bullet shot damaged his rib cage back, and his heart is still safe. Please take out the bullet as soon as you can. He interrupted while doctor looked at you. You were the one who treated him? He nodded. Yes, I'm not a radiologist, but I'm a surgeon. So, I did what was needed at that time. Please twitch him quickly. You pleaded while doctor nodded. Thanks for the treatment. It helped us, doctor said as he left for over. He washed the overdose basin carefully as he went near it and put your one hand on the window while a lone tear escaped from your eyes. When you looked back, the same put a hand on your shoulder. Thanks, Wyatt. He thanked you while you nodded. Thanks, Wyatt. You don't know if you weren't there what could happen to him. You squeezed their hand while reassuring them. If I couldn't treat him that time, then I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. A lot is left to ask him, he said while looking through the glass. You fell asleep while sitting outside the OR, but you woke up as they shaked you a little and you looked at him. Wine, eat something. You haven't eaten something since morning. He offered you a meal box while you looked at the OR room. How did surgery went? You asked Tehan as you put the mailbox aside. Relax, fine. It went well, and Jungkook is fine, and he's resting. You quickly got up as you moved towards the OR. You opened the room door slowly as your eyes fell on the person laying on the bed with bandages and wires around him. As you entered slowly, moved towards him and looked at him. His eyes were closed. You sat near his bed as you hold his hand, and your eyes filled with tears, and you hold his hand tightly while you cried silently while lowering your head. And tears started to trace out your cheeks and follow the direction to Jungkook's hand, and his hand moved a bit. I'm glad that you're safe, you whispered to yourself while crying, while he didn't move. I don't know how I got this feeling, but seeing you in blood, a fear I got, which I don't know what I felt. I got scared of losing you before even getting you. You were saying in low voice, barely audible. You cried silently for a while, but his grip tightened on your hand, and you looked up quickly, wiping your tears, and he opened his eyes slowly, and he looked at you firmly. Do you need anything, Jungkook? You got up and turned around, wiping your tears. As you poured water in glass and handed him with a smile on your face, and he looked at you carefully. You were crying? He asked while he looked other side. No, I got some dust in my eyes. You acted to clean your eyes while he watched you. Ryan, sit here. He asked you to sit, and you said, Ryan, today was your flight, so why are you here? You should have left already. He said while you looked at him. I'm not going anywhere right now, he said painfully. But you should. And I'm alright now. And Jimin and Tehan is here for me. You looked in his eyes, staring at him. You aren't alright, and don't tell me to leave. It's final. I'm not leaving. You said little angrily, and Jungkook chuckled. I will call Tehan to take you. You will not listen to me. He looked for his phone while he grabbed his phone, and in that moment Taehang entered. Were you guys talking about me? He asked as he entered with a food plate in his hand. Yoongi came on right time. Please drop her at the airport. She has flight in 4 hours. He stared at him. Yeah, but I changed timing for her flight as I thought she should stay for a bit. He placed a tray on the table and a smile appeared on your face. Who told you? You interrupted in between. Thanks, Papa, I told him, but he's forcing me to leave early. Taehang looked at Jungkook. Jungkook, you're so ungrateful for this. She saved you. And you're pushing her away. Jungkook looked at you while you lowered your gazes. Saved? He frowned and Taehang explained him. She saved you when you got shot, and I didn't know she was surgeon. Jungkook looked at you again and stared you for a while. She again becomes savior for me. How many deaths you wanna give me? Leave that, but who was the person shot you and how you got shot? You asked, being worried. I will take care of him after I get out of this hospital, Jungkook said with little rage. Don't worry about him. We already did what should be done, and you should have told us before that you were going to meet him. What you guys said? He asked with a little worriedness. Don't worry about it. We have our connection, he said, and Jungkook shook his head. You came out of the washroom drying your hair with towel. As you saw Jungkook was sitting there, you put the towel on the bed. Jungkook, do you need something? You asked while he got up and he moved towards your direction. Take this. He handed you an envelope. Your tickets for tomorrow. And don't care about me. I'm alright. And you can leave. he said and started leaving, but you held his hand and he stopped in his tracks. You really want me to leave? He turned towards you and you stared in his eyes. Yes, he said coldly and again started to leave. Jungkook, I think I love you. You said without hesitation and he stopped as his ears perked up and you moved towards him as you faced him. I don't want to leave you. I want to stay with you. You said with hopeful eyes, but he didn't say anything as you were looking in his eyes for an answer. But he wasn't meeting gazes with you. We will talk, he said coldly and you hold. I won't answer, Jungkook. I won't answer for each and every question. I want to know what this all means. I want to know why you saved me and why you're doing this. You said with teary eyes and he looked onwards. Fine, I don't love you. I just saved you because I felt it was like nothing more. Now you have to leave, he said without meeting gazes and you chuckled. You are sure? Asked and he looked at you confused. Yes, I said what I believe. He looked at him and opened his shirt one button and took out his pendant. It was the same as yours and his eyes widened a little bit. What's this? Aren't you the one who gave me flower and pendant? And why you are wearing this couple pendant, huh? You asked as your eyes glistened with tears. Jacob looked at you as he went speechless and what to say next. And what does that kiss mean? You said and he looked up at you surprised. He made you lay on the bed carefully while you moved a little bit in sleep as he was covering you with blanket. You held his arm and hugged it like a cushion as he stumbled a bit and sat on the bed. While he stayed like that as he tried to remove his hand but you hugged it more tightly. He stared at your facial features closely and you turned a little as he fell near your face but he kept looking at you as his eyes fell on your plum lips. As he moved towards your lips and closed his eyes and pecked your lips. But in less than a second he broke the kiss as he was trying to get up but your grip on his hand was so tight. He stopped and waited for a while but as waiting he fell asleep too while you held his hand like a baby all night. He looked at you surprised as he knows what you are talking about. He finally made gazes with you and your eyes were watery. What does that mean? You asked with broken voice. Sorry, babe, but you can't stay with me and my mafia world. I can't endanger your life with me anymore. You stared in his eyes. So you were pushing me away because of this mafia world. Why don't you trust yourself that you can protect me? He said with pleading eyes. I trust myself, but I can't risk your life with me. The day before I got shot, and if you'll stay with me, I can't imagine what could happen to you. He said with broken voice. So leave this all, because I can't see you in danger again. The last time you were laying on bed, you can't imagine how scared I was. You don't know the fear of losing someone whom you didn't even confess that you loved them. And what if something happened to you? What will I do? He burst into tears and said while crying. He hugged you while you cried badly holding him and he patted your head. Shh, I'm alright now and you saved me. And don't go if you don't want. I'm not forcing you. Please stop crying. He tries to make you stop crying. Promise me you will leave this mafia thing. You asked with puppy eyes and his eyes were watery too. I promise I will leave this. You smiled and he wiped your tears as he looked into his eyes.